Welcome to another episode of Plugged In With Students. TY/Tyree is back on the channel. Would you like to introduce yourself?
What you lot saying? My name's TY, Ty, whatever you want to call me.
So today, could you tell us your university course and year?
Yeah, so technically, I've done a foundation year last year, so I'm in year one, but technically year two, you know what I mean? But man's doing physical education and sport, BA honours, and I go to University of Greenwich.
So today we're going to give a student's point of view of the recent backlash supermarkets have been receiving from their obviously new adverts. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to obviously show TY the advert, link the advert in the description, and then we're going to come back and discuss the advert part by part. So we're just going to go look at the advert now and come back. So we just finished watching the first co-op advert in the description. First impressions.
It's a normal advert.
It's a what, sorry?
Just a normal advert, isn't it? Like, you know, stuff.
So what makes the advert normal to you?
It's just a normal thing for co-op, isn't it?
Did anything kind of come out when you were reading? Obviously, they're from the advert, from what I understood, their mission is kind of trying to give back to the community. So
yeah, they're just saying we're doing double everything to make up for, you know, everything. Like, we know the year's been like whatever, but we're doing our bit to help out the community, innit?
So if I read some comments from Twitter, the beautiful Twitter, and some comments that people have been saying, and I want to hear your opinion. So I'm just going to pick out 5. Are we living in South Africa? Looks like there are only dark people living in the UK. I will not be buying anything from a firm that tries to throw diversity down my throat. Try putting some white people in our ads, racist. I find this image offensive. Last time I looked, I live in the UK. Why do you think they're getting these kind of responses?
Okay, straight off the bat, yeah. I don't know what I'm going for these people then. Are the people, I'm not at anyone, are the people making these comments white?
Well, I cannot tell you that. Obviously, Twitter is, I cannot tell you who's behind the screen, can I?
Okay, cool.
It's more of you can assume, if that's what you want to assume, you can assume that, but.
No, I don't want to take assumptions before people come for my throat and stuff. So, it sounds from these comments that this is from the racist majority, yeah?
So are you calling the UK racist?
I'm calling whoever made these comments racist.
Do you think the UK is racist?
Yeah, I think it's quite racist, yeah.
All right, we'll get into that. So why? Yeah. So when you say the people, what is racist about the comments, in your opinion?
Okay, the South Africa one, I don't understand. I just don't get that. Okay, get some white people in the ads.
Just to make it easier, I think I'll just share the picture I had. Can you see that?
Okay, yeah. Okay, so are we living in South Africa? I don't get that. When they said about what did they say?
It looks like there are only dark people in the UK.
Dark, okay. That and the one, can we get some white people in there? Yeah. But there was white people in the advert. There was literally a white woman like 5 seconds in.
So why do you feel like they didn't appreciate the fact that there was a diversity of people, or what, in your opinion, a diversity of people? Why do you think they only saw the black children or people?
Do you know what it is? I think it's because of change. Because for the longest as I can remember, yeah, over the years, these, not just co-op, but, you know, like M&S and all these places making their Christmas adverts, the main characters have been white people, white families, white children, yeah? So, and people hold it to some sort of tradition that, you know, that's what they see when Christmas adverts from supermarkets come out. So now that, you know, obviously with the whole, I'm not sure if it was obviously I think it was co-op's like stand against racism, saying like, listen, like, use like, we're taking a stand against it, we support like Black lives and stuff. So they're not actively saying, listen, Black Lives Matter and stuff from before. They're just saying that, listen, we do not support racism. We don't support, we're anti-racist, yeah?
Okay.
So for certain people, they're like, wait, what's going on? Why is there a black person on my screen for a Christmas advert? Da da da. I can't think as to why having a black person for a Christmas advert is a bad idea.
Okay. So if we now go into the second co-op video, and we'll give an opinion on that. So we're just going to watch all these videos and then give an overall discussion on our opinions. So I'm just going to pause it here. So we just finished watching the second advert. So what I did with Ty, I wanted to show Ty the comment section. So on the first advert, the comments have been deleted, some have been hidden, and some of them are more negative to positive. And the like to dislike ratio is very close. So I think it was about 75 likes to 64 dislikes. But on the newer video from Co-op, there was about 288 likes to 4 dislikes with comments of all positive. How the one comment was it's criminally unrated how good the advert were, and it's just mostly positive comments. What's your opinion on the second advert, Ty?
I don't see a difference between the second advert and the first advert.
There's no difference whatsoever.
Like they're both Christmas adverts. They're both showing how Co-op is just part of the community. Like look how many people were in that second one when the boys were singing. It just shows that Co-op's part of the community. It brings the community together. The boys knew if I go stand outside Co-op and start doing my thing, people are gonna show up because community's there. Like I don't see what different. The only difference is the boys are white. Like
okay, so do you think that's why? So if we go to why do you think one Co-op advert receives so much backlash and such negative comments, and Co-op having to delete their comments, and the like to dislike ratio being very close, versus the second advert where it's the like to dislike ratio is very far with more likes than dislikes, and the comment section being very positive and not much. Obviously, we don't know what's being deleted, but from the comments, there's more comments on the second one than the first one, and the second one was released after the first one.
Yeah.
So
I think I don't know what's going on because personally, as an advert, as a Christmas advert, probably the second one's more of a Christmas advert because he's got the Santa hat and whatever. But I think the first one's better as an advert because it's actually someone doing a voiceover saying, we're doing double this, we're doing this for the community, we're giving back. The second one, what is the actual meaning behind that? Because if you don't deeply think into things and think, oh, they went outside Co-op because of on your TV screen, all you're seeing is two boys singing outside the Co-op, and people are just saying that. Oh,
I think the message was about when the guy went to give him the £5 of him saying, I don't do this for the money, I do this for my community.
But you see what I mean? You have to deeply think into that. Whereas the other one's actually telling you, listen, we're doing double this, we're doing double shifts, we're doing double this, we're giving back to the community.
Do you think there's a misrepresentation then and why people be angry? Or do you think the representation works? Because people have been saying they feel alienated with the adverts. Do you think these adverts alienate a certain race or a certain specific target demographic?
See, this is the thing. I think these people, personally, I think these people need to actually properly sit down and look at these adverts because
without a race bias point of view.
Yes, just looking at an advert, because in the first one, they're saying they feel alienated because they're basically saying because it's based around black people, there's basically not enough white people in the video. Yeah, that's basically what they mean. But in the second video, it's the two white boys singing, but there's so many other people from different races in that video. There's a black person, I'm pretty sure there's an Asian person. There's loads of different people from different races and different backgrounds, different religions that you can see in that video. So I don't see how that's different to the first one.
Okay. So now I'm going to show you the next ad. So we just finished watching the Iceland ad. Opinions.
It's a normal advert.
Do you think there was a reason they didn't put anyone in the ads because of the recent backlash, or do you think that's an Iceland advert, the way they normally do their ads?
I literally think that's a normal Iceland advert. Like normally, from my understanding, because there may be adverts that I haven't seen, but from my understanding, that's just a normal Iceland advert. Like they just show the food, they show the prices, they talk about how they're doing good. That's just their thing. They just come in, tell you what they need to do, and then.
So do you think Iceland needs to get involved with this hashtag stand against racism?
I don't know. I think they're kind of like, they're like a Sweden, innit? Like they're just in the middle. They're just doing their own thing. They're not saying I'm for this side, I'm against this side. Like they're kind of doing their thing. I'm sure even if you were to check the comment section on there, no one's really talking about, oh, you should get involved in this. What you're trying to say that you guys are racist and stuff by not showing this or whatever. Like they're just saying, listen, we're a supermarket. Like we're just showing our food, our prices. We don't need to get involved in much more. Like,
so not to at Iceland, but there's actually no comments on the YouTube video.
oh shit.
So we're gonna go on to the next ad. We just finished watching the Audi advert, which was a little different, as there was no one specific race, another specific race, or a mix of races. What's your opinion on that advert, Ty?
I don't know. I think if you're looking at it in terms of like races and stuff, I think they played it very safe, very very safe. The only person in the whole ad was Santa, and you know it's Santa. It's traditionally Santa's a white man, like Saint Nick, like that's so Santa.
Would you think people won't second thought it? Is that the word? Think twice about Santa when they see him as being a white Santa.
I don't know. Do you know what? I think something like Santa, I think you have to push it very far to make it something, because like it's a traditional thing, and it's like, I don't know, like no one that I've known has ever argued, like, oh, Santa's black, Santa's this, Santa's that. Like
it's just a known thing, accepted across the world.
It's just an accepted thing in tradition, society, and stuff.
Let me ask you this: do you think it would be a stretch if Santa came out as bi or gay or bisexual, or do you think again that's something you don't look into because traditionally Santa's just Santa?
I think it's just something you just leave it alone. Like it's just Santa. Just leave it alone. Santa don't need to be touched. Like,
so with the Audi advert, you feel like they played it more safe?
I think because they done the carrots and that. Like that was there. That was like the Iceland advert. They're just saying, listen, we're a supermarket. Like they done their own little fun little spin on it, but they were like, listen, we're just a supermarket at the end of the day.
So, do you think they should stand with other supermarkets with this stand against racism?
I don't know. Like. They can't exactly come out and be like, we're not standing with them, because then they're going to have a backlash saying, well, you must be racist then if you're not standing with them.
So do you feel like that's why a company, we'll leave that for the end discussion. We'll leave that. So this is the next advert. So we just finished watching the Tesco ad. What's your opinion?
I'm not going to lie. I think they done it very well because,
Better or worse than Co-op?
Maybe I might say better, I might say better because I don't see what you could really argue about in that advert, because there was a big diversity in that advert, and like it's not like the white people or the white race got like 2 minutes on this, or like 30 seconds, and then like the other races only got like 2 seconds. Like I think it was evenly split. They were all put in separate scenarios that like just normal. So I think they've done it quite well.
Okay, and what's your opinion on the advert? Do you think it's do you see a reason for it getting backlash?
I don't know. Not really, no.
Okay, well, it did receive backlash. And different adverts for a different advert it received, they actually removed the scene from what I read in the news, but obviously don't quote me on that. But we're going to go on to the next one. So we just finished watching the M&S advert. After the M&S advert, we're going to watch the Sainsbury's advert and have a discussion. What's your opinion on the M&S advert, Ty?
I think M&S have pushed in the direction like Iceland. They're just showing their food and saying this is our thing.
So do you think, again, they played it safe, or this is a normal M&S advert?
I mean, obviously M&S is more directed to like, the more, it's like
upper class.
More upper class people shop there. So I think the advert was more based to like who goes out and gets a drink with gold flakes in it for Christmas? Like you see what I mean? And the salmon, like, not saying people don't have salmon on Christmas, but the way they've actually done it is like it's more aimed towards upper class. But I think it's still like just a normal advert. Like they're showing food.
So now we're gonna watch the Sainsbury's advert and then have a discussion. So we just finished watching the Sainsbury's advert, which received one of the most backlashes. Why do you think it received so much backlash?
Again, if we're going off like the recurring theme, it's because it's based around a black family.
So do you think this video is worse than the co-op video? Because as you can see, there's obviously not a white or any other diversity counterpart in the video.
I don't see a problem with any of it because I personally feel like if that was a white family, I don't think there'd be, I'm not saying there wouldn't be backlash. I don't think there would be as much or to whatever extent the backlash is to, because that's just what everyone's always seen on screen.
So if we now go into discussion with the title, Why the UK is Racist, do you agree or disagree with the statement?
What?
Do you think the UK is racist, Ty?
Oh, yeah, 100, yeah.
So when you say 100, what makes you feel this way?
Okay, so straight off the bat, yeah, the backlash on these adverts. Why is there backlash on a Christmas advert? Like, I understand certain things like H&M, the thing that happened however long ago, H&M, the black boy that was put in the monkey top. Yeah.
Okay.
I can see where people are going with that. It's a black boy in a monkey top. You know, like, cool. It's a Christmas advert.
Could you explain that? So what's wrong with a black boy in a monkey top?
Because it's people will be like, oh, why have they because there was a white boy in a different top. There was like, why couldn't they put the white boy in the monkey top? Like,
why is there a problem with the black boy in a monkey top is my question.
Me personally, I don't care, but I'm saying in society, they'll be like, oh, why is the black boy in the monkey top? They're trying to say like something like,
what are they trying to say, Ty?
They're being racist by putting a black boy in a monkey top.
Why is a black boy in a monkey top racist?
Oh, because when someone's being racist, they may refer to black people as monkeys and stuff like that.
So maybe H&M do you think H&M purposely did that or they were misguided?
I don't think they purposely did it. I think that they didn't think far ahead.
Okay.
I think they'll
put on a t-shirt.
Yeah, because it was always said like the mum knew what was going on and she was like, calm, like he's modeling, like, you know, it's just a t-shirt. I don't think H&M actually thought if we actually release this, what are people gonna think? Like they should have just been a bit more smart with it. But yeah, but it's a Christmas advert. Like what can you actually say about a Christmas advert based around the black family? Like we both saw the advert, it's got a little song about it. There's nothing that's saying that we're better. There's nothing saying you need to look at. It's literally just about a family coming together for Christmas. Like,
so what's your opinion on people saying they don't want to shop at the supermarket anymore because of adverts like these? That's
stupid. Like, what's the point of making a comment like that when we know that you're gonna go and shop back at that supermarket anyway? Like, you can't come say like, oh, because of Co-op, I'm not going to shop at Co-op anymore, when Co-op's next to your yard and you need to go get food. You're going to be back in there anyway. And so, what they're basically saying is for the whole 12 months, because of 1 month, because they released an advert at Christmas, for the next 2021, they're not going to go shop at Co-op.
It's just not going to happen, as you're saying.
That exactly, it's not. And no, it's like, I don't know. I feel sometimes people just type things and just talk about things on the internet and air their mind without actually thinking, does this make sense? Like,
could people not say that's what you're doing right now?
What?
Just airing your opinion.
I'm airing my opinion, but for you to come and tell me that what I'm talking isn't sense, you have to, I don't know, you have to have a different mindset. Obviously, everyone has a different mindset, but you have to actually, you know, back up your point. Like, I've backed up my point. You said you're not going to go to Co-op because of a Christmas advert, but it's a Christmas advert. They haven't said in the Christmas advert, they didn't say we're standing against racism. They didn't say black people are better. They didn't say anything to do with race. They just showed that we're doubling stuff, we're giving back to the community. They didn't say we're giving back to a certain community, we're giving back to our community. Co-ops everywhere.
So you said they didn't say they're against racism, but they came out and said, because there's a whole hashtag right now saying, literally supermarkets saying, stand against racism.
But I'm saying in the actual advert itself, it's no one physically said, listen, we're standing against racism. They said we're doubling our hours, we're giving back to the community.
So what do you think about people who say they don't feel the word is recognized? The word I'm looking for is represented in these adverts.
What is it like?
Some people say, why is there so much diversity? Why is that I don't feel represented? You're isolating and you're not showing your actual client base.
Yeah, but that's so. How can someone say that a supermarket has a specific client base?
So
they'll have a client base that they target, but that's not a specific client base.
That's literally what specific client base is. If you have a specific client base, is who you're going to target for your client.
Something like who does Co-op target?
So I'm not part of Co-op to tell you, but let's say if we were talking about universities specific client base is probably going to be sixth form students.
Yeah. So then so then if a uni released an advert showing you students' life after graduation, I don't see how that's not recognizing or going against or alienating sixth forms. They're saying, listen, this is what's going to happen after uni. This is showing me what can happen after uni.
So who would be the clientele for that video?
For what video?
The postgraduate. Anyone. But you said they're not alienating anyone then?
No.
So then going back to the point of why do you think people feel like they're being alienated?
Because they said they're alienating their client base. I don't see. Let's say they're reaching out. Yeah, they're standing against racism. Let's say their approach is they're standing against racism so that they can broaden the client base. How is broadening a client base alienating a client base? Do you get what I mean?
As you saw in the Sainsbury's film, if we talk about that, because obviously that was one of the most controversial ones, there is a specific color of person in the video.
But then one advert, let's go back how many years and see what the adverts are like. Do you get what I mean?
So if it's traditionally been this specific thing and now they've changed that one advert, does that not make sense when people say they feel alienated because for so long they've seen themselves in an ad and all of a sudden now they don't see themselves?
It's change happens.
So then can you understand when they say they feel alienated?
No, because let's say for the past 10 years, yeah, mm-hmm. I'm just saying, let's say Sainsbury's adverts focus primarily on white families, yeah?
Okay.
Would that not mean that black people will say, well, we feel alienated because you're not reaching out to us?
Mm-hmm.
We want to shop with you, but you're not reaching out to us, so we don't think that you want us to shop with you.
So then, your example is if let's say if we went blatant and there were only one specific race on TV, the other race would complain and say, well, we feel alienated because we don't see our own race on that TV.
Because it's been done for so long, but then it happens one time the other way round, and all of a sudden there's a backlash and an uproar.
So does that not make sense to you why there would be backlash and uproar? Because as you just said, it's like seeing an apple for 10 years and all of a sudden I see a banana being the wrong word, but we'll see what happens.
I know what you mean, but no. Because, it's like, say a banana's sitting at home.
Okay.
For 10 years, he's seeing an apple on TV, or the banana, not he. The banana is seeing an apple on TV for 10 years. One day, the banana turns on the TV and sees a banana on the TV. He's like, oh, mad, like, a banana's on the TV.
So the banana won't feel isolated. The banana will feel like it's being represented, but what about the apple?
So then, but if the apple's seen itself for 10 years, going, okay, apple, 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 then it sees a banana. Why, in what normal sense would the apple go, oh, what the hell? Like, why is there a banana on here?
Because
Like,
for 10 years, it's seen itself on TV.
but then that means you're not what's the word? Evolving. If you're not accepting certain change, because it's not even what's bad about it? What is actually bad about it?
What is bad about what, sorry?
What's bad about the adverts? What's bad about the adverts?
So as you said, people don't feel represented.
No, but the adverts themselves. What is bad about the adverts themselves?
So I don't feel like people have a problem with the advert itself. I feel like, obviously this is my opinion, but people have an ad with the problem of it just being a specific race. So you've now seen, so obviously I'm not defending or Patreon for them, but my point is, when I put myself in their shoes, the point they're coming from is, well, from what I understand is, I've seeing from what I see on TV, it's not what I'm used to seeing. And like you said, evolve and change. But why do I have to change for you in my world?
See, but that last bit, why do I have to change? They don't have to change though.
Well, they have to, because if they're shopping at a supermarket and now their supermarket are changing their ads, I have to change with that supermarket to.
But how?
Because so again, I'm just trying to put myself in their shoes. Obviously, this is a bit harder for me because I don't exactly stand by them, but trying to understand why they think the way they think. It's like going on. It's like Eminem when he first joined the rap scene. Traditionally, people saw obviously black counterparts rapping, singing, and everything. And when Eminem jumped on the scene, he received a lot of backlash because people saw only, well, it was perceived only black people were rapping. Obviously, I wasn't alive during the time, and this is all from personal experience and personal influences. But so going to that, now if you compare that to Sainsbury's, they see black rappers on TV for 10 years, and all of a sudden an Eminem comes on TV.
Yeah.
So you can understand where they come from when they say, well, why is there Eminem on my TV? Because the Eminem supporters, they're going to love the Eminems on TV.
Yeah.
But the supporters of obviously the traditional won't like it as much because now they're seeing an Eminem on TV.
Okay.
So can you understand when they say, why is there an Eminem on my TV, where they come from?
I get what you're saying, but at the same time, no, because it's one time that it's happened. It's literally one time, and they're treating it like Co-op and Sainsbury's have come out and said, listen, until further notice, we're only featuring black people in our ads. Okay.
So would you say it's more of so from when you think about it, it's more of they're not isolating you, they're just including us.
Yeah, they're literally just doing Christmas adverts. They're saying, listen, like.
So do you think this is going to stop at a Christmas advert?
I don't know, because if you're taking the stand anti-racist, you can't just say, boom, we're just there for the season. You have to back your word and uphold that. I'm not saying now you need to go and put bare black people in your ads. But, even if it's a simple thing, like let's say they do an advert and there's a black boy and a white boy and they're best friends. That's that simple as that. You're just incorporating more things. You're broadening, like, let's say you're broadening your clientele, because now no one can say I feel alienated because you're reaching out to say, let's say black and white and maybe Asian and any other race. You're reaching out to all these other races by what's the word? By incorporating them into your adverts.
Okay. So if we go more into the UK now, as a whole, you said you feel the UK is racist.
Yeah.
What is your most powerful reason, highest reason for your belief that the UK is racist?
Okay, so I feel like it's what they've allowed to be accepted in the UK. So there's there's groups such as, they won't say they're racist, but like the EDL.
Okay.
There's another group, I can't remember what they're called. There's another group. At certain times there's been political parties that people believe have a racist agenda. Yeah, so thank you. They have a racist agenda, and people obviously talk about it, but it's accepted in certain places. There's even certain things, like I can't remember exactly where it is, but during the Black Lives Matter, that whole episode, there was people were pointing out the fact that there's statues of slave owners, plantation owners, all that. Now, for me, one of the main things is something like a statue, because let me ask you, if you see, what do you think the purpose of a statue is?
So when it comes down to the statues, I believe it comes down to the British culture. And when I say it comes down to the British culture, the British love their history. As we know, Winston Churchill is praised like a king. And we always look down at World War. We always look at World War II. And in my personal point of view, I feel like the British love their history. So whereas you may see a slave owner, someone who considers themselves like British would see it as a history mark. So they might not see, oh, you owned a lot of slaves. They might have seen, you are part of my history. You got me to where I am today.
Okay, so would you agree that a statue would idolize something?
Well, it would all depend on what the statue is of, and the comments and the how you perceive the statue.
So a statue of a World War II soldier is idolizing the soldiers and the fact that they fought for us, yeah?
So it depends how you see it. Some people see it as, if I was someone from a German background and I saw a British soldier with a gun to a German man's head, I might get offended and say, well, that is my history and they're taking the mick. But then as a British person, you could say, that's how we won the war. We killed a load of Germans and had to overcome the challenge. So again, that's why I say it depends on what the statue's on and what's being represented.
Okay.
So if it's just a statue of a British soldier, just a British soldier with, let's say, his gun beside him, then I don't think it will be perceived as a negative. So because you might just see it as this is what they looked like, and we need to remember them for history. But again, that's why I go back to, if it's a British soldier with a gun to a German's head, then it might be perceived as more negative than positive.
Okay, so let's say the Winston Churchill, because I think the Winston Churchill statue, he's just standing there, yeah?
Yes.
So let's say, not completely forgetting, but let's say less of the perception and think more of the general basic facts of why that statue's there. Is to, I think the word is maybe commend and idolize Winston Churchill of what he done and the fact that he was a big part of
winning the war.
Yeah. Okay. So that's idolization to that, yeah. So when you take that general agenda of, we're putting out statues to idolize certain things. There's statues of football players. There's statues of Robin Hood. I'm pretty sure there's even a statue of Heady One somewhere. Like it's all to idolize, and like, this is an important thing. This is an important thing, yeah.
But it would depend on the statue, because you could put statues up yourself in certain places.
No, I mean, like, a statue that I don't know who put that statue. Government.
So that's what I mean when I said it depends on the statue and where the statue is, because I could put a statue in front of my own house. I could put a statue in the street I own. If I own this city, then I could put a statue of myself slap bang in the middle and say, this is the most prized person. Because let's say Akon's building his own like world/city, he could put a statue of himself in the middle of it and say, look, this is who I am. I'm amazing. But some people would be like, why do you need a statue of Akon there? So it depends on where the statue is and what the
general ideal, though. That's still perception, though. That's still, because if you think of the general idea of that, he's gone and built his own civilization and city. That wouldn't happen without him. So he's put a statue of himself there to show this is because of me. General terms, not perception. General terms, yeah.
Okay.
So in general terms, they will place, say, near a football. It's mainly in front of like football stadiums.
They might put a football player.
Statues, yeah, because it's idolizing, saying, listen, like, this is one of our best players. Like,
Well,
you
this is
may
a player
perceive
who's
and
done
say,
something to
yeah,
receive
you may
recognition to
perceive
have
and
a
say that
statue.
player is better, but this is a player that has done something, like it's changed
Recognizable.
something, whatever.
Yeah. Like Ronaldo.
So now, yeah, so Ronaldo might be in front of, he might be in front of, like, let's say,
doesn't matter. Let's just say he has a statue.
Yeah. But yeah, it's because he's perceived as one of the best players in the world, and he has great skill to show that. He's changed like the way people may see football and stuff. So when you take that general term and you apply that to statues of slave owners, I don't think that's right. I don't think in a society like today, where back before,
mm-hmm.
the UK was very, very racist, obviously, during slave times and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So a statue like that would be very accepted.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't care what any other race thinks of it.
Mm-hmm.
In a society like today, like we have in 2020,
mm-hmm.
like we've had since all the changes happened and everything, I don't think that's something that should be there, because it's, to someone, it's, if you're taking that general term, it's idolizing that. It's idolizing slavery. It's idolizing that time. It's idolizing what they've done. And I don't see how someone can't see how that's gonna 100% clash with the society that we have today.
So do you not think to talk about your point, going back so you see it more a point of view from, it's not about what it is, it's about what it represents. So yeah. The statue of a slave owner is you praising slavery.
I think that, yeah.
So could you see someone who comes from a point of, the reason of this statue of a slave owner is because that's my history?
I can see that 100%. If I don't know, like, let's say someone who's come from that background of slave, let's say someone who's come from a background of slave owning, or people have come from backgrounds of slave owning families, that is 100% that history. That statue commemorates and helps them to remember, this is what I came from, this is what my family tree is. 100%. I can't deny, I can't argue against that if that is your history. But in a society like today, because in a way, that's like saying, listen, we don't care what you're going to think. We're helping these people remember their roots, remember what their family's like. Because, like, you know, they're remembering it because they came from slave owning families, or they like this person and he done something that we agreed with, so we're just going to leave it there. We don't care about what you lot think. Because I'm not sure many Black people who passionately felt about the Black Lives Matter movement would have gone up to that statue, and when asked about it, they would have been like, oh, do you know what? Like, you know, it's part of my history. Like,
but is it not? So would you not say it's unfair then to rip the statue down based off, you think, well, your perception of the UK being racist and you taking it as a racist stand, counter to someone seeing it as their history? Because let's say if we put a statue of a famous Black person, so like Morgan Freeman, say if we put a statue of Morgan Freeman,
yeah,
some people may say they didn't like the way of his views. So you would obviously say you support Morgan Freeman because I'm guessing, do you or don't you?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So you support Morgan Freeman because of your beliefs. So if someone went now and ripped down Morgan Freeman's statue because they believe he's against what they believe in, would you understand why that person rips down that statue in response to what they believe in?
Yeah, 100. I understand it, but because I've just now seen that there's a statue of Nelson Mandela. Because what I was gonna say was, if you're gonna idolize, in a general term, if you're gonna idolize and help people commemorate and remember and whatever, celebrate their stuff, you have to reach out to everywhere. And I've just seen that there's a Nelson Mandela statue. So in that term, yes, they've seen that and then been like, "Do you know what, Nelson Mandela." So I can see that, but I still think it's just a very.
So should we not take down the statue of Nelson Mandela at the same time then? Because if we're ripping down these slave owners who you don't like because of what they mean, what Nelson Mandela means could be not as liked to certain other people.
No, yeah, 100%. Because and people may be like, "Oh, he's tapped or whatever," but the whole thing was we weren't fighting because we're better. Black people were fighting because they wanted equality. And what I think some people need to understand is what equality actually means. Like,
what does equality mean to you, Ty?
Equality means to me is the things I want to happen, I need to be ready. So in terms of the statue, if I don't want the slave owner statue up there, and there's people against it saying, "Listen, we don't agree with what Nelson Mandela was doing," I need to then understand that if I don't want your statue up, you're not going to want my statue up. Okay. So if I get your statue taken down, I need to deal with the fact and understand that you can take mine down. Because if I then go and say, as you were saying, doesn't need to be, if I say, take that statue down and they take it down and mine's still left up, people are going to be like, hold up, like, how come it's your statue? I don't agree with your statue. Why is it not taken down?
So going back to, again, the core question of, do you think the UK is racist? Would you not say the fact that they took down some of these slave owner statues, well, forcefully or voluntarily, and have put up this Nelson Mandela statue, it's proof of the UK not being as racially directed or driven as it's perceived?
No, because if we're saying UK racist, it's not just about white people being racist to black people. Even though, yes, the UK is probably, I think it is a white country, no? It's a white man's land.
Do you see it as a white man's land?
I think it is.
Why? Look, if we look at the adverts, obviously that says different.
No, but I'm saying from origin.
Okay. So I think I'm not going to comment on that because I don't have the fact, but let's say, in your opinion, you see it as a white man's land from origin.
See, listen, I can't. Okay, let's say it's a white man's land. Yeah. Let's say it's a white man's land. Yeah?
Okay.
So if we're saying it's a white man's land, obviously slavery would have been racism directed towards black people.
Okay.
But then black people now in modern society and like after slavery and stuff, black people then hating on white people and treating them different because of slavery is now racism directed towards white people.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Can black people be racist?
Yeah, 100%.
And people who believe because black people don't hold power,
yeah,
which means they can't be racist, what would be your response to them?
What, my actual response or professional response?
Let's go professional. Let's keep it
a professional
PG
response
and keep it professional for the channel.
Yeah. A professional response to that, to a person, if they said that to me, I would say, listen, personally, in my opinion, what you're saying to me logically does not make sense. I can't comprehend what you're saying and make any sense of it because you saying black people have no power would mean A, white people have all the power, even though there are black people that have power, and B, black people are nothing because we don't have power.
So I don't think it's about being nothing. I think it's about that kind of, how can I be racist if I have no power? So when you say it to me, you're saying it from a point of view of you hold the society advantage. So you have that again. So I'm not the best person to represent this. So this is just off what I'm interpreting from them. But it's kind of that factor of, it's like male and female. How can, when a female hits a male or when a female something happens, it's not the same because a male holds all the power. The male is more powerful, and the male is. So that's when I hear it. What I think when I hear black people don't hold the power. So it's more of a, how can I be racist? But because it doesn't come with anything. Because what I say comes with nothing behind it. Where if it was a white person being racist, they have the society advantage, the acceptance advantage, the Western society, the Western advantage. That's what I'm interpreting. Obviously, it'd be better if I can get someone on here that believes that black people can't be racist because of power, to hear what they think. But that's what I interpret they mean.
Yeah, no, I'll just say, listen, what you're saying does not make any sense, because like, it's racism. Obviously, it probably stemmed from obviously the white people holding power and stuff. But then to say black people cannot be racist because they do not hold the power is very, I'm trying to think professional words to use. It's very
stupid. Easy one right there. Easy, just stupid.
Yeah, it's just very stupid. Like, I just don't understand it. Like, how, I don't know, like, I don't understand how someone can have a viewpoint like that. Not saying like you're absolutely shambolic, because listen, that's my opinion, that's my mindset. Your mindset is completely different to me. If you view that in your head, then evidently something has happened for you to believe that. So I cannot talk down and completely cast aside your opinion and mindset. But speaking from a logical point of view, I can't make sense of it, because to me, it just personally doesn't make sense. Because how can you say, through my mindset, in my opinion, how can you say black people don't have the power when there have been powerful black icons?
For example?
Nelson Mandela.
And do you think he would have gotten, do you think if Nelson Mandela was white and was doing the same thing for a white cause, he would have gotten further?
In his time, probably, yeah.
So then, do you understand? So when people say the type of racism is not the same because they didn't hold the power, can you see where they're coming from? Because as you just said, Nelson Mandela may have been able to do more, because if he was of...
I think it's more, I think white on black racism is more apparent, if you get what I mean. It's more, you know, people may say, if, let's say, for instance, a situation, a black person is applying for a job where the employer is white, and maybe the managers and the supervisors are predominantly white. They may say, and they don't get the job, they may be like, oh, it's because they're white and I'm black, that's why I didn't get the job. So people are like, oh yeah, they're racist because you didn't get the job because you're black and they're white and da da da. But then if you flip it on its head, it's the same thing, no?
Yes, but then it's that kind of, again, the society advantage when I understand, again, talking from what I think they think, just trying to put myself in their shoes. It's that kind of talking about the jobs is, because I have maybe a more traditional African name, I'm less likely to get the job. So because I'm less likely to get the job, I have this disadvantage in life because of someone who's obviously of a different color of me that has these advantages. So because I'm at this disadvantage, I cannot have the same direct power or the same kind of insult power to that person of a higher, that person with the advantages, because I don't have the advantages.
You know what the thing is? If you think like that, you're never going to have the advantages.
So are you saying there is a disadvantage in the UK for black people?
Okay, personally, from my personal experience, I was always raised to believe and understand that, listen, because I'm not white, I need to work harder.
But are you black?
I'm half black, innit?
So do you think that could be why.
Why what?
Or do you so as a are you mixed race or light skinned?
Well, I'm technically both, but I'm mixed race.
So you're mixed race. So you have a white and black parent dynamic. So do you feel you get the best of both lives or the worst of both worlds?
No, because okay. How do you say worst? No, not really, because I still feel like people perceive me as a black male
Is
because
there a
I'm mixed
reason for that?
race. I think it's literally just because, you know, people perceive me as mixed race, light skin, whatever. I'm not white, so I'm black in it, like, and I feel like I don't think there's like, you know, you may have heard that police when they refer to a certain race, it's like I see one. I believe that like I'd be perceived. There may be another one. I have to do my research on, but I feel like I'd be like approached to as an IC3.
So an IC3 would be a black male.
It's a black, yes, it's a black male. So, but then in that sense, I don't feel like, you know, it's everything's been against me, because I've understood that there is a chance that, listen, there is a chance that I may need to work harder. I may need to put myself in a better light because of people's views. If you act if someone perceives you as something and you actually act like that, you're playing into them. So if, let's say there's the stereotype, black people's timing.
Mm-hmm.
The stereotype, why is the stereotype come about? Because black people are mostly late to certain events and things like that.
Okay.
So now, if you have an employer and they know you're black and they say, come to this interview at 1 o'clock, if you're sitting there thinking they must be racist, whatever, and they're thinking black people's time and they're probably going to be here late, and you're late, and then you don't get the job, of course you're playing into their stereotype. But you can't just go off and say, oh, it's because they're racist and they think I was going to be late and I was late. But hold up, you was late to an interview.
So what's your kind of point when it comes to this?
Is that, yes, I've been brought up to believe that could be a disadvantage. But personally, I don't think I've experienced it, because I've always tried to place myself in the best way possible. Where, like, you know, I've always tried to give myself opportunities. I'm at university now. I know loads of white people, loads of Asian people, loads of black people. You yourself, fully black. I have white friends at uni. We've all placed ourselves in the same, we've chosen our courses. And, you know, like, how do I say? The only reason we're on different courses is because we've chose different things. We chose different A-levels. We chose different GCSEs. We have different paths in life. At no point have either of us been like, oh, you're more advantaged than I am.
So let me ask you this as kind of like a sum up. Do you believe the UK is just as racist as the United States?
You know what? I'm going to say no. I think that they are both, let's say, they're both like as bad as each other. I just think it's more apparent from the United States because of what people are seeing.
Which is?
So in the United States, so when people say United States is racist and stuff, it's more because they're seeing white officers shooting black people. Now, there has been times when maybe the police officer has a racist agenda and they may believe that, you know, today's the day that I'm going to shoot a black person because let's say that's their mindset, that they're racist.
Okay.
But like, at the end of the day, it's still racist. It's still racism.
So is it that thing like when Dave said least racist is still racist?
Yeah, it's still racist.
So you may not agree with them being just as racist in the US, but you agree with them still being just as, they may not be on the same level, but they still exist in the spectrum.
Who?
The UK.
Yeah, because racism is racism.
Okay. So thank you for coming today, Ty. Been a really nice discussion talking about the adverts, the backlash, being racism in the UK, and obviously being a young black male in the UK. If you just want to end the video saying, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'm plugged in.
Right. It's your boy TY. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'm plugged in.
Amazing. Thank you.